When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, BigBeat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Quasar Markets Live. It is Friday, December 12th, and if you're just tuning in, BigBeat's going to bring you everything you need to know about the markets right now. Markets seem to be rotating, BigBeat. What do you think?
Yeah, it's Friday, and I think that technology is coming in a little light on earnings. Oracle product proved that to us over the weekend, or this week, I guess. But taking advantage of it, right? Buying those dips. So, but right now, I'm backing off a little bit. I think I might just sit on the sideline a little bit today.
Okay. We've got Dow futures higher again this morning. The S&P basically flat, and the NASDAQ under a little bit of pressure. After the Fed's third rate cut, investors are finally doing what they've talked about all year. They're rotating out of the overcrowded growth trades and into value, cyclicals, financials, travel, and small caps. And honestly, this is exactly what a healthy bull market looks like. So happy with what I'm seeing out there. Steve, Dow futures up about 2/3%. S&P basically flat. Like I said, NASDAQ down about 30 basis points. And if we look at the week, the Dow up about 1.6%. S&P is modestly positive, but the NASDAQ hasn't moved at all. And the surprise, small caps, Russell 2000 up nearly 3% on the week. What is this telling you, Steve?
It's rotation. Well, when you lower rates, that helps small companies out too as well. You know, the mom and pops are starting to come out too as well. So listen, when you look at the markets in general, we've been running just on one thing, on tech. And if you're going to have a bigger rally, you gotta have more than one sector. And the Mag 7 or 8, I guess now, has been holding the whole market up, and that's not a healthy market. So this helps a little bit. But to be honest with you, there's too many geopolitical things going on. There's just too many issues going on right now to see an extremely healthy one. So I'm not quite there yet.
Okay. Steve, let's talk about the Fed a little bit here. Yes, they cut rates, but the bigger takeaway was the cut. It was the tone. Chief Powell openly acknowledged that the jobs data may be overstating strength by roughly 60,000 jobs per month. Translation of that, the economy is solid but not overheating. Lower rates without a recession narrative is rocket fuel for the industries. And that's exactly where the money went yesterday. Financials, industrials, travel, consumer cyclicals. This is why you're seeing the Dow lead the NASDAQ. Growth stocks are long duration assets. When rates stabilize, investors start to ask different questions. What are you asking now?
Yeah, look, we made that move. I did 2 months ago when I talked about it. Materials, materials, materials. If you're going to see lower rates, materials cost less, so they'll be buying more. So that was my thesis around that, and materials now the highest run now in the last 2 months. So yeah, I like this, but I think it's a fake move in a lot of ways, right? I still think it's a sideways move. Yeah, we're making a little higher move here in the Dow. So what? But I think, and I'm going to mention this today in Schwab, that we're going to have a Santa Claus rally. But it's not yet, right? It's after Christmas, all the way towards the first week of January. We're going to see that, but it's going to take some time, and we've got a few weeks here, so it is what it is.
Okay. Steve, we got to lead with the elephant in the room, AI stocks, and that's where most of the confusion seems to be. Broadcom reported a beat and raised AI revenue up more than 70% year over year. Guidance says AI sales could double this quarter, and the stock is down about 5 to 6% pre-market. Feels a little bit backwards until you zoom out. They're roughly up 75% this year. A lot of this perfection sort of priced in. Is that what we're seeing today, Steve? Is that, these stocks have already priced in these earnings reports months ago?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Okay.
I'll leave it at
Big
that. I'll leave it
pre-market
at that
movement
because
this morning, like we said, is are you looking to buy the dip on Broadcom? Is it fairly priced or is it still overpriced?
it's still a little fairly overpriced. Look, I've got my eye on Broadcom, on AVGO, but look, if I look at a 5-year chart, it is up 907% in 5 years. So they have to prove to me that it's worth 127% upside this year alone, right? And those numbers didn't quite tell me that yet.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Oracle still under pressure today, Steve, after its revenue miss earlier this week. Nvidia, Micron, and other AI names are softer, but importantly, not collapsing. We do seem to see more of a controlled selling than a panic selling here across most of them. Are any of those names things you're looking to buy the dip on?
No.
Okay. On the other
Yes.
side
Yeah.
of that, with
Yesterday. Yes.
Lululemon,
Yesterday on Oracle, I mean, I did pick up that bottom because it was down 15%, right? But now being down 10%, okay, it's going to circle around 11% down if you start from the beginning. I just that's not enough. That's about right where it should be. So no, I'm not touching that at all. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
okay, Steve, Lululemon is the biggest winner this morning, up around 9 to 10% in the pre-market. Earnings were solid, and more importantly, the CEO is stepping down. The market is basically saying we'll give you a second chance of leadership changes. So, you a fan of Lululemon?
We were right. I said, look, about a month ago, right? I said something's going on with Lululemon. I couldn't figure it out. And you and I talked about the retail sector as women buying clothes in there. No, but there's still some. It was weird because the volume was above, but it really wasn't moving, and I knew something was very weird there. So what was happening was changing hands as the CEO there was selling shares, and the new person coming in was making a deal to get shares. So there was something weird, and I couldn't figure it out. And that there it is, right? When I can't figure something out, there's usually something behind it. And the Lululemon, now we know the news. I like this a new CEO. The old CEO just didn't seem to have a grasp on it. But the new CEO, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve, Costco beat earnings and revenue. Stock is slightly down about 20 basis points here this morning. Tells you expectations are really high on some of these retailers, huh?
Man, really high. I mean, Costco really beat on those numbers, and I don't. Yeah, this one's the one I can't figure out. Again, if I can't figure it out, something's wrong. I think Costco here. I mean, it's one of my picks. I liked it. I knew that these earnings were going to be good. We've been talking about going to. You and I've been talking we've been going to Costco and Sam's Club, and people are really going to these places and they're really spending money. And we now see the earnings, but it didn't really translate into the shares price. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. So I think that this still is a buy. I'm still buying it. So I'm not. I don't. I'm just kind of confused as to why it's not pushing its weight. It should be though.
Yeah, and my bigger takeaway too is they're winning in special events. They brought up the point that they sold like 300,000 and more pizzas on Halloween. I know my family, we get pizza for Halloween every year so we can get the little one out and no one's cooking.
Right.
Pies, they were
Yeah.
up like 700,000 on their Thanksgiving Day pies. So what I took away also is they're not just your go once a month and get the big boxes of things. They are also winning on the daily basis, in my opinion. So I'm with you. I don't understand the price reaction, and I am a buyer myself. So I
Good.
like it
Okay. Well, all
here.
right.
Another one, Restoration Hardware, one you like to make fun of here. I've never shopped there either, so I can't give much comments. Up about 3.14%, Steve, despite mixed numbers because guidance wasn't as bad as feared. So it looks like Costco maybe expectations that mark was too high. Not really high marks for a Restoration Hardware.
You're absolutely right. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's expensive, and the K economy is in full swing. But that K economy also is an issue, right? Is that there people that are affluent are now worth buying at Costco. So I don't know. This isn't something's not adding up here, and I can't figure it out yet. But trust me, when I do, I'll let everybody know.
I wonder on the Costco one because, again, listening to people as we were in Vegas at the event, so many people just look at Costco as simply a defensive stock. They don't look at it as any other way. They say when what hits the fan, they buy Costco, and they don't seem to buy it when the economy is moving in the right direction. I think they're missing the boat there. So, but I did hear that on a
Agreed.
few different people. That's a defensive play.
Agreed.
Um,
It is a defensive play, like
it
Dollar
is.
General, but at the same time, the numbers were really, really good. So I'm not
Yeah,
really sure
best in
what
class.
that
I
would. Yeah,
still want to own best
yeah,
in class if I'm going to own something, right?
yeah.
Steve, Citigroup has had a nice little day here, huh? They're up
J-
right now. Where are they? 1.63% here after upgrade chatter. UBS, one of the ones I know you used to like back in the day, up 1.41% as there's reports Switzerland may soften their capital moves.
yeah.
Financials continue to act like the market believes the economy can slow without breaking. Are you buying what they're selling?
Yeah, I think so. Citigroup is still Citigroup, right? They still have their issues. But no, I mean, to me, best in class is JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Citigroup is more retail investment banking, but I'm not really sold on them yet. Um, yeah, I'm not really sold on them yet.
What about UBS? Do you think the softening of those rules in Switzerland will help them?
Yes, but Switzerland's having issues too, right? I mean, their rates, and as you talk about Steve Flanagan talk about it, 0%, right? I mean, it's really low. So yeah,
Well, they always are, though.
yeah.
They have the lowest rates. Steve, one that I tell you I missed out on, as you know, I was in, got out way too early. Have you looked at Goldman Sachs stock lately?
I have, yeah. But when I was asked, what's better, Carolyn Woods asked me on the floor, Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan? Goldman Sachs. They just are a money printer. They just are. They know what to do. But their thing, and we've talked about this for a while, is M&A, right? And M&A has been very good for Goldman Sachs. So yeah, it does not surprise me one bit.
Yeah, I was happy when I ran it from 688 to 800. Now I'm like, man, what was I thinking? How did I get out? That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's great. You got to start to wonder about those valuations at some point, though. Steve, are they a $250 billion company, Goldman Sachs?
No, they're $1 trillion company.
$1 trillion company. So you saying 4x?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, there you go. You heard it from BigBeat. 4x value in Goldman Sachs.
But I mean, it's not going to happen tomorrow, right? It's going
All
to
right.
happen over the
No.
next few years. But I mean, yeah, it's a $1 trillion company by far. And when you look at the deals that are being made in the tech sector, they go to Goldman Sachs first, right? J.P. Morgan's part of it. Look, when you look at JP Morgan, they're not Mr. Tech and savvy over there, right? They're the first ones that go, eh. Goldman Sachs is not that way. They're good at tech. They understand the tech side of things. They have a younger group over there, and they're also winning on that too, right? And so they're also Mr. and Mrs. Mergers and acquisitions, and that's where it's
Okay.
at. So Goldman Sachs, and guess what? There's 2 more years of it, right? That's why I'm saying could 4x on Goldman Sachs.
Okay. We are about 15 minutes from the open here. Tick is slightly positive. Advanced decline nicely again. Breath 1280 to the upside. We see the S&P is now gone slightly negative, and Qs continue to cool off down 42 basis points. VIX at 1497. Steve, you buying protection here when we don't need it?
I already am. Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point, Howard. Protection, protection. As our friend Scott Bauer always says, you buy it when you don't need it, so that when you do need it, right? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. And those that don't understand or don't watch us very often, we talk about this whenever the VIX gets down this low, 1497, 18 is considered to basically be neutral. So it means people say volatility is going to be at a minimum, but we all know with tweet analysis, our White House and the world economy the way it is, probably
yeah,
not the case. So what I like to do is look out maybe a month, maybe even into January right now, and say, okay, what are the long dated calls look like there? So, and when it spikes up, you get out and rinse and repeat and do it again. And so remember, this is a hedge, and volatility plays both ways. So if there's an upward rip, it still means there's volatility. Downward rip means
yep,
volatility. So, it does show you though it could be a pretty decent day in the market here with it at 1497. Euphoria seems to be back in there. And part of that, Steve, is everyone's getting high. There's cannabis, and we'll spend more time on that. Trump is talking about directing federal agencies to reclassify marijuana, potentially moving into Schedule 3. It's
Yeah.
not full legalization, but it's a huge, huge structural change. It means it would reduce punitive tax treatment. It would improve access to banking and financing, which would be a huge one, expand the medical and pharmaceutical research available, and make the industry more investable for
All right.
institutions.
Let's break this down. This is the guy who sends the military to blow up Venezuelan boats over drugs and then declassifies drugs. I'm confused.
I think there's a big difference between fentanyl and marijuana.
I
So
agree.
they're
So we
that
now know what he's
I
thinking.
don't look at apples and oranges together. That's what I think those are, because it's
Okay.
also just being used to go after Venezuela. I think we all know that. Also, it
That's
isn't
right.
about the fentanyl. It's never been about the fentanyl. They'll talk about it with tariffs. They'll talk about it with
Yeah.
everything. It's just the easiest. It's like picking on Bitcoin for the miners, energy use for years. It's just a simple talking point. It's not a true
You
point
got it.
there. I do want to put in a little bit of reality check, because I have watched this industry over the years. Because a lot of the liquor guys, especially the Sands family, which are the folks behind Constellation Brands, moved in, and they are the folks behind Canopy, right? Um, and
Yep.
so I've always watched it because I know a lot of people in those industries. And I will say, this is still a process. It's not a final decision, and the headlines can move a lot faster than the policy can.
Well, the question I have to ask, Howard, and this is for you because I don't really know the answer to this, but what about Compass?
Compass, the drug Compass, or Compass, the real estate
No,
company?
no, Compass being the drug company. Yeah. I mean,
Oh
it's up
yeah,
22% today.
these are all
I
up.
mean, it's,
But Tilray's
yeah,
up
yeah,
33. Yeah.
right.
Oh, they're all through the roof. That's what I mean. That's why I'm warning people. I'm giving a reality check. Everything's up 30%. This is probably not the time to buy a cannabis stock. If you
Right.
were in them, this is probably a time to hopefully take profits, or it's shortened your losses, because these are markets that have been just beaten up. I mean, Tilroy's now a penny stock. And it was one of the leaders at one time. It was a stock at 23.20, and until this run started last week, was down at $7.
Yep.
So that's the scary part too. Is I will say that most of these traded like meme coins, and we all know when it comes to meme coins, trying to get back up to those high highs is very difficult, as there's a lot of angry bag holders on the way up to dump into, right?
Yep. 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 And I'm looking at real quickly. I'm looking at Elon Musk selling about 57,000 shares of Tesla, reducing his shareholders shareholdings there yesterday. So I'm getting a little bit nervous here again on Tesla. I'm thinking that maybe, probably he did it for probably tax reasons. I'm obvious. Um,
Man's
I,
got to pay some bills. He's allowed to use his money.
yeah, $50 million worth. Yep, I agree.
I mean,
Um,
for a guy like, listen, we might joke about that, or I would joke about it. You might not joke about it, but 50 million to pay a tax bill might be what he needs. I mean, in all honesty,
I'm joking about $50 million
or
paying
that's,
taxes.
hey, listen, I want a new house in Key West. Again, I don't get angry at Elon for wanting to spend his money. He earned it there. So, and it hasn't moved the price. I mean, the stock's actually up on that news,
Yep,
about 10 basis points. So it shows the market isn't too worried about it.
right.
Steve, I've got one for you. I should have probably warned you about this before we came on,
It's fine.
but I want to talk about a little cross asset signal I'm seeing: silver versus oil. There's been
Yes. Oh,
chatter about
how?
silver trading strong relative to oil, even approaching parity at points. And that's unusual when precious metals outperform energy. It often signals policy uncertainty, bond market stress, and a preference for stores of value over growth demand. It doesn't scream recession, but it definitely whispers something in my ear. What about you?
100%. People are scared. I mean, when you talk about geopolitical issues, and we talked about the silver gold ratio a lot, right? That the reasons that silver is going to push up. And I mean, at $19 an ounce, I was like, this is silly. I'm buying a lot of it. I'm buying a lot of this. And I dumped it at 58. Do I look stupid at 64? Maybe. Um, but I also feel like,
When you go
yeah.
to the bank, you don't mind it. Hey, it was cheaper for you to carry. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, when you're looking at commodities, let's say lumber, and you can take your silver to buy lumber, you can take your silver to buy products. You're starting to get into dystopian world, right?
Yeah.
When you, oh, I want to trade my silver for oil, right? So when people start, and I made a post about that silver to oil ratio, right? That's interesting, right? That is telling me the world is not happy. So when people tell you, and then we have Steve Flanagan in here this morning. I see him. Good morning, Steve. Uh, he's right. This quantum convergence is happening, right? There's a movement here, and materials. I've said that too, right? If I can go into the store, into Costco, and take my silver and buy products, they don't trust fiat. That's a problem.
Right.
The trust in the government is falling apart. That's a problem, right? You saw where Indiana turned down the ability to gerrymander their districts. You're starting to see a brush back. You heard Trump actually talking about it, saying we're losing everywhere. There's a distrust coming in the economy, and I heard it yesterday on an article about how we're going into next year into a midterm cycle that people are nervous about the election. The election's not until November, so this is a question mark, right? But I think the price of silver is way out of whack right now.
Yeah, yep. I can't argue there. And it's just it's this is a retail squeeze in my opinion. A lot of it too is this is the Wall Street Wall Street bets folks and all those ones. That's all you hear is that.
Well, they
I
relate
got
to the
one for
game
you where
again.
I'm going to take the other side of Bank of America. Bank of America just upgraded Visa with a buy and a 382 price. And I'm not negative Visa, but one of the reasons they talked about it is they say that stable coins are not the threat that they thought they were.
No, because they're going
Um,
to implement it.
they already
So,
have implemented. They talked about it,
fine.
but it was interesting for their reasons because they couldn't be more wrong. And their reasons were
Okay.
rewards. And what I've talked about, as you know, from my presentation in Las Vegas, is the fact that you will use stable coins to do these things, and you'll use Coinbase One's credit card and Gemini's credit card and all these other ones that have those rewards built in, and those rewards are 4% back in Bitcoin, not an access to an airport lounge that when I went into it this week was so overcrowded I went to Burger King to eat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Sapphire Lounge was so overdone in Vegas, so overcrowded. I just said I'm going to Burger King.
Uh, well, I'll tell you, if you want to look at it from that perspective, then look at American Express, right?
Yeah.
AXP has really done the killer business lately. Um, if you could throw a chart
AXP
up
is
of,
the underwriter for Coinbase One, by the way. I didn't notice that
correct.
until yesterday.
That is correct.
As
Yeah.
I was looking at my Coinbase One account, they keep sending me get this credit card, and I assumed it was some crappy third name
And who
Visa.
supports AXP? Goldman Sachs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, again, it's all tied to, as you know, from my presentation, was talking about how the integration is already there. But I just thought that Bank of America missed the point there. And the point is they're integrating stable coins. They're going to use it to lessen their costs, to speed up their movement. The question's going to be someday, Steve, and I have this as you're a business owner. When do businesses finally say lower those processing fees, or we are going to move to stable coins, since now I can use things like I can integrate Square and I can integrate
They're not
PayPal,
going to threaten. They're not going to threaten
NCR?
them. They're just going to do it
You think that? Yeah, I think that change comes. I think so. It's
faster than you
interesting because
think.
I do think that is going to be a structural change that happens and led by our retailers, because it's one of the biggest complaints I know I have as a business owner. The restaurants, we're always trying to figure out how we can save pennies on our processing fees. They just keep going up and up, and they take a big part of your profits in some of these businesses. So I do think that structural change is going to get driven by big makers, and I think it's going to be a Walmart or somebody else that fires that first shot. That's going to be very interesting to watch. So we are 3 minutes from the open here, Steve. What should I be tuning in on, and what are you looking to short, go long? What are we trading this morning?
I look up and yesterday at Bitcoin hit almost 94,000 yesterday again. I took your advice. I sold some and I'm holding some cash, some stable coin there, CBDC, USDC to put back into Bitcoin again on these dips. Look, for me, tech is really hurting right now. I might actually look to short Oracle actually.
Sure,
Yesterday
really.
was
I've gone long Oracle at 190.
yeah.
So in my
Yeah, no,
long-term portfolio, I'm taking advantage of these dips to
okay.
refill my long-term portfolio. I took Meta on the dip a month ago, whatever. It's recovered nicely. As you know, I took
Yeah,
UNH a few months ago on the dip.
yeah,
It's recovered very nicely. I took Boeing. These
yeah,
are, I will, and I've been telling my watch list people also on the crypto side, get your 88s and 90s now because you won't be here that long. We're 21 days from when we took that huge dump, the capitulation that I called as the capitulation. Right, 21 days, and we haven't hit a new low on any of the major alts or on Bitcoin. So you want a DCA, don't look at me when we go back over 101 and everyone goes, man, I should have bought in the 90s. No, you should have bought in the
yep.
80s.
Right.
I'm telling you,
Agreed.
get your DCAs now. I mean, 94. I am still fading the 94 till it proves me wrong. But keep an eye on Ethereum because it's not proving anybody wrong. It already went up to 34.48 before retracing. Some of these are, and I regret I did not buy enough Ethereum when it was at under 3,000. But at that 3,000, I'm definitely a buyer.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
only one. I mean, I did everything else. I don't know why Ethereum. There was so many short bets against it, and especially against Tom Lee and the Bitminer and all that. I thought there was another leg down, a capitulation that we hadn't seen, and the digital asset treasuries bought me out before they could cause capitulation. So there's still
yeah.
still risk there. And that's why I said I haven't moved up that buy. It's still 3,000. I just
Okay.
didn't DCA enough in there. And as you know, I sold most of my Ethereum when it broke through 4,500. It just was too fast, too far. So that
Yeah.
one I do need to reload, without a doubt. We are 1 minute from the open. So are you watching the crypto mining companies then for that, Steve, to short or go long here today? What are you thinking?
Neither
Not
one,
sure.
but I think the miners have stopped. They stopped selling quite heavily, right? Their Bitcoin now, but end of the year taxes, they might be selling some of their Bitcoin.
They could, yeah, absolutely. They have been sellers over the last couple of months, of course. We've
Yes.
seen that. And
Yeah.
remember, not all of them, but the major names have all, here we go, we are
We're
open, have
open.
also now all partnered with data centers also, and they're using that revenue so they don't have to sell their Bitcoin. We see the first
Or
move on the Qs down to the downside here. Ooh, pretty big swipe down, 621.50 here
that's
and
kind of what
taking
I
the
felt like. Yeah.
downside.
Yeah, I felt like we were gonna slip a bit.
Oops, I just realized I'm not sharing my screen.
Netflix at 95.50 here, up 1.47% here.
Yeah, a lot of the guys again in Vegas, that was one of the ones they were focused in on the after the drop, talking about buying it and being willing to buy it all the way down to 70. I heard one of the folks talking about there. So we'll see what we get. Nice move back up by Nvidia here this morning, up about 40
ABGO
basis
still
points.
selling here. Now down 8% here.
Lululemon squeezing to the upside, up 12.33, continuing to move to the upside here. So nice little move there. And man, no one's scared about Elon selling his stock, up 1% here. Tesla, nice
Yeah.
move to the upside there.
Still haven't done anything this morning, which is kind of crazy for me.
Netflix up 1.43%, as Steve mentioned here.
Bitcoin back below 92,000 here. Yeah. Hugging that 92 handle. I'm just not seeing what I really
Oracle
want to see here today.
Oracle bounced up a little bit at the cash open here, but still down about 7. Oh, down 1.3. There's a little move to the downside you were talking
Yeah, not
about,
like an
Steve.
Oracle here at all. Yeah.
195, 196. Definitely volume coming in here. Big volume
AMD
spike
slipping a
right on
bit
the
too.
open. AV broadband now down 7.6% here. So continuing to slide to the downside lows of the day. I will say at the 50-day MA or towards that 360 area, I would probably be looking to buy for a mean reversion trade, just a quick scalp to the upside from that level.
Warner Brothers at $30 now. Yeah, ABGO's down almost, down 8%, over 8% now.
That's what I was saying. Yep.
Lulu now up 14%.
Costco down now 1% here. This is another one that, as Steve and I both talked about, we have interest here. I want to
Netflix at
see though
96.26 now.
if Costco loses that 870 handle, it's got some downside here. So I do want to see what it does there, but I am looking at that 870 angle.
Yeah, I like the Costco move here. I do.
Did Kathy Wood buy the bottom on Hood? She was a big buyer of Hood yesterday. I saw her announced up about 1.63% on the open here.
I just don't
Steve's
see what
brands, Levi Strauss, Steve, up about 1.34. So more of that
I like
rotation.
Levi's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Levi's has a new brand called Gold, and it's selling like hotcakes on Amazon.
Really? I'll have to check that out. I'm a Lucky Brands guy, believe it or
Me
not.
too. I'm wearing Lucky's now.
They fit my fat butt. They're made for the older gentleman. Actually, I have no butt, so that's the opposite. Okay, what do we got going on here? Market is pretty flat here, tick so
Yeah.
far this morning. Advanced decline has actually come back down to 1,000. So not much of a breath here today as it looked like earlier. Qs are down 50 basis points and still on the downside. SPY down about 10 basis points. Like we said, Dow Jones is in the positive as we see that secular rotation. And the RUT, even off of its highs yesterday, now up another 11 basis points. So small caps really doing really well today.
Yep. It's a rotation at attack, to be honest with you. Or
But they're
taking
holding up.
profit.
In other words, they're
Yeah,
also not falling off the face of the earth during this rotation.
they're not. No, they're not.
You know, I'd actually say some of them are doing pretty well. Wow, UNH back above 340 here. Nice little move to the upside.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't sell UNH just yet.
Oh, these are my long. It's in my long term. It's
Yeah.
forgotten about for the next 6 months at least. I will
92.4
say
now.
copper continuing to move to the upside. Those that have been listening to us know we've been in CPER since Mr. Thomas brought us to us. Now at 33.73. As I mentioned, 36 is the area I'm targeting there. So still another 8 or 9%. It's up about 30 since we got in.
I just can't seem to find anything I want to play with here. Netflix now at 96.22 here. Almost back to 97 here.
Yeah, I missed out. I wanted to buy Netflix yesterday, but I was traveling and then totally forgot about it. Tell you, SanDisk getting hit here again today, down about 3.78%. We see Micron getting hit pretty hard here, down about 3.14%. Also,
Okay. All right, and I think now it is
Western
time to.
Digital also down 2.3. So some of the tech companies getting hit here pretty hard. Lululemon still moving to the upside, up 10% now, 10.42%. Rivian making a nice little run here. There's got to be some news driving that up about 5.69%. Looks like they launched and their autonomy processor chip and paid driver assistance package. Okay. So Rivian up about 6.7% here on their auto or auto driving device like that. There you go. You and I both liked Rivian when they kicked off. Just not catching. People aren't buying them, right?
I'm shorting Tesla right here. I just did.
Okay, Steve is shorting Tesla. There you go. Up 1.9% here, and now moving to the downside a little bit. Nvidia
All right,
still in the positive here.
455.21.
What was that?
455.21.
Okay. We do see Amazon and Meta are in the red today. The rest of the Mag 7, Microsoft wants to make me a liar. They just dropped pretty big there, right there. Netflix is the big winner in the Mag, up 2.5%. Nice little move to the upside there. If we look at the sectors of the S&P, it's a broad breadth there for sure. XLK technology is negative. Energy pretty flat on the day. The rest of the sector is moving to the upside. Biggest winners, Steve's materials and consumer discretionary so far. Bitcoin regained that 92 handle here. And Ethereum trying to regain 3250. It's got to make a move over 3280 and hold. If it does there, watch for Ethereum to make a run towards 3450. Advanced decline's been cut in half since the open here. Tick stayed positive, so we're seeing a little bit of move. And Netflix just popped to the upside here, now up 2.6%, really popped. So did Tesla. Wow, big pop to the upside,
It did, yeah.
257.06. So where they are buying, they're buying. And that seems to be across some of the mag here. Apple also nicely moving into the upside, 32. So I guess people didn't like the fact that we said they're rotating. It's time to rotate into some of the other sectors here.
Well, Tesla's coming back
so
now.
far, we'll see if that holds. It's still very, very, very early in the day. And let the algos fight this out. Let me see if there's any trades going on here. Nothing really there, huh?
There we go. Come on, Tesla, get back down there. There we go. Well, movements are fast and furious.
457.36. Every dip's getting bought quickly. Break 458 here. It's got pretty quick upside. Careful here, Steve. This one's in a little bit of a tough area right here. If it breaks this zone of resistance,
I'm actually going to
stop loss set there.
Yeah, I'm actually going to double down on my short.
Okay.
Doubling down, baby.
There you go. NVIDIA now up over 182 here, so feeling pretty good.
All right, I've doubled down now on my Tesla.
Steve, I pointed out to you yesterday, how about Fly up at 2364? Fly, baby, fly.
Yep, we've talked about that for a while, and you've killed it.
The other one moving up nicely, Mike Novogratz's Galaxy Digital looking to regain the 30 handle here. Another one of the crypto names was big yesterday, losing a little bit today as Gemini was up about 25-30% yesterday. They got approval for their prediction market, so they'll be challenging Polymarket and Kalshi with their own prediction markets.
Yeah, it's just a matter now. It's gonna
go all
right.
Yeah.
Look at that numbers of people following us today. 5,000 now out there looking.
Oh, wow. Look at that. There you go. Dow Jones did hit another record today.
There we
go.
Look
like Tesla slowed down here, Steve. Looks like it's trying to turn. That resistance.
It is, yeah.
That 458 held pretty good.
Yes, it did.
Tick is positive 172. Advanced decline sitting at 870 here. DXY still under 99. So we'll have to ask Mr. Flanagan about that. Gold 43. Wow. 43.44. Looks like it's headed back to an all-time high again today, maybe on the gold. And silver, man, 64 just keeps on, won't stop. Moving to the upside.
Oh, I'm in the profit here on Tesla now. That doubled down the short.
Bitcoin, nice move back above 92 here, 92,380. Nice little move to the upside. Ethereum struggling to get above that 2380 I talked about. 3280.
And Oracle now down 2% here.
Yep, definite pullback there. Palantir down 2.15%. So
AVGO down 8% here. Yeah. All right. Let's go, baby. Come on, Tesla. Pull back there.
Intel having a nice little day up 1.09%. Nice little move to the upside by Intel today.
Yeah, Tesla trying to push again a little bit. I don't think so. I think that once there we go. There's this. Come on, baby.
Goldman Sachs getting hit pretty hard here, down about 78 basis points after being up in the pre-market. So little bit of a turnaround
Profit
there. Seeing
taking.
Charles Schwab also getting hit pretty hard here, down about 1.66%. Neither of those are much news. UBS continuing to move to the upside, now up 2.09%. Again, that's on news that Switzerland is looking to lower the capital requirements for their banks, giving more money for them to use. Lululemon holding up pretty well here, up 12.22%. Kind of still looks like break back to the upside again. Nice little move there.
Tesla pushing again here.
Tesla, whoa, 459. Watch out above now. It will start to squeeze. See what it's got in it.
Could be getting rid of all of those up there.
Yeah.
Ouch.
This is the spot. This is the spot to worry.
This might be one of those I lose today for the first time in a long time. But
no, there you go. There you go. Got tired there at 459.
Yeah, maybe not.
Got a little tired. A little tired. This third.
There you go.
If this goes green, this third one, you got to get out. That's the squeeze alert. If that hits now, it's watch out.
Netflix almost 97 here, and Bitcoin still holding.
I wanted that yesterday, and I totally missed it. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
No excuse.
I think I'm okay with the Tesla. I think my Tesla short still good here. Yeah, there we go. Whew. They cleaned them out then, I guess, right above. Fly at 24 now. And 457 again now on Tesla. So wow, the movement there in Tesla is just.
Yeah, Tesla's just moving. Here it goes. Here's the drop.
Yeah, just a little bit more here. We could see it. It seems like a Palantir down 2% here. Lululemon now only up 12%, so I think that's stopped now. AVGO still slipping here.
Yeah, AVGO, I'm not looking for support till it hits that 50-day MA right around that 362. It keeps on looking like there it goes.
Oh, there we go, Tesla.
It keeps on looking like it's going to drop, and then it holds. It looks like now it's turning over. 3-minute chart shows it turning over here.
Just seems to be
Bitcoin 92.50 here. Looks like it wants to make another run up towards 94 today. Again, I'll be shorting from that 94.250 area just for a little bit.
We'll let it keep going. Wow, it's really moving on Tesla today. All over the place. Somebody is in there buying, but man, there's some serious institutional dumping here. But I can't figure out which.
AVGO's dump here. I do think it's going to hit that 360 here.
I think zero DTEs are buying up Tesla, and I think institutions are dumping it. Yeah, that's what's happening here. Institutions are having a field day right now on the zero DTEs. There they go. See? Told you they're dumping on them. Oops.
AVGO is holding this 370. I'm looking forward to see if it hits 360, like I said. I do see Mr. Bauer is a little interested in it here today.
think I'll just stay right where I'm at with Tesla. I think the institutions are going to win today on the zero deets. They usually do. Oh, 459. Nope, 458. Wow, it is. They are really dumping. Yeah, institutions are dumping on the zero DTEs here. The zeros are trying to fight, but they just don't have the money to do it. And I think the institutions are.
Yeah, there. Here comes the dump. No, I keep thinking. It
It's
looks like it,
very
but I mean,
strange, isn't it?
two of
It's
my three
very
indicators
strange
are
here.
pointing to the upside.
It's very strange what's happening here.
There you go.
I'm telling you, institutions have way
There
more
it
money.
goes. There it goes.
Yeah. Still need to done a dump here, I think, but
Yeah, it's not
is it?
doing it. Not doing it.
Not yet.
I think it rechallenges 454 by my run here. That's where I'd look to get out of that.
But somebody's unloading lots of Tesla shares here. But zero DTEs are buying this because why I'm saying it is the bid and the ask is the spread there is telling me the answer here. So it means that institutions let up, let the price come back up, and then they dump some more on them, right? So that's what's happening here. So I would not be long any zero DTEs right here because they might just clearly just dump straight on them. What we call in the institutional side triangulation. So be careful out there. That's what I'm seeing, and that's why I am short. Not telling myself what to do, but that's
Yep.
what I'm doing. RCL flat on the day now, 279.40. So that nice little run in RCL over the last few days, especially with the buyback, I looked at that as exactly what I thought was going to happen. $9,000 people. Thank you so much for watching us here on Quasar Markets Live. Very, very precious appreciation. All right. Here comes another dump there of the institutional shares. So it could be Elon continuing to dump more shares as he did yesterday. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he may just not be doing it all at once, letting the zero DTEs come in and give him money, pretty much. But that's what's happening here. Somebody on the institutional side has got serious dumping, and they've let up a little bit to push it up again. $459 now, pushing up again. Bitcoin now 92.3, so they could not hold at the 92.5. It just seems weak up there. Silver 64.25 now. Yeah. Oh, 460 now on Tesla. Disney's at 113 now. At 105, that was a buyer again. Anything under there was like really good. Now look at Disney now back. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. 10,000 people now watching this, Howard. I love it.
Wow.
McDonald's at 313 now.
AVGO, a little bounce there though at that 369.
Yeah, 461 on Tesla here. I might be getting a little bit nervous. I don't normally get nervous.
Whoa. Yeah, just moved again. Damn. I was watching AVGO for a second there.
but I think the numbers here are too way out of whack.
Ooh, Steve just jumped again.
I'm not too scared.
472 should be the top, but still a far way away. You could squeeze another $10. Take negative 200, though, lead Steve in the right direction. Advanced decline down to 540. We do see now the rut has turned negative here. Qs are down about 60 basis points, SPY down 23 basis points. Dow Jones remains to be in the green, but has given up some of those early morning gains. Looking at the Mag 7, we do see Tesla is the leader on the day at 462 and change. Netflix up 2.3% at 96.26. And Apple and Nvidia slightly green on the day. Biggest laggard is Microsoft, down almost a full percentage point here, and they were up in the pre-market, so that's been a little bit of a switch there. Again, looking at the sectors of the S&P outside of technology and energy, the rest are in the green so far. Gold, Steve, just moved to an all-time high again, 43.81. Wow, just keeps on setting highs.
Yeah, we're going to 5,000. I've said that. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely have, for sure there. And what is that doing across the others here? Silver's holding pretty steady above 64 here. Copper back, or CPER, above 33.69. Nice little move to the upside. Bitcoin holding steady right around that 92,500 area. So sort of in a zone of no man's land. And Ethereum really struggling to break this 3280 resistance above it right now. So might have a little bit more downside in front of it. Okay, ooh, tick just jumped up positive there. Advanced decline jumped up there. Something you got happy there.
Yep.
Tesla holding that 462. That seems to be the tough spot right now.
Hey, let's bring Steve Flanagan in.
Absolutely. Let's get him into the room here. Uh-oh. Steve, it looks like you might have a little mic issue there. Can you try resetting your mic for 1 second? Let's see what happens. He's trying to take us away there. Let me see if I can do something from my levels here. Edit mic settings. Let me try it now, Steve. Let's see if that helps. No, sorry. Sorry about that, Steve. We got to try to maybe come back in, Steve. Go out and come back in. Sorry about that, everybody. A little technical difficulty here. Let's blame CrowdStrike like everybody else does for everything. That's where that company, anytime anything goes wrong on the internet, it's CrowdStrike. Steve, I do see the 10-year ticking up back here, 4.186 here. So we are still seeing, Treasury's getting a little overheated here. President going to be upset about that?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
There we go, Mr. Flanagan. They're not trying to, I blamed it on CrowdStrike, but I think it's just the government trying to hold you back.
There you go. They don't want to hear what I have to say today.
How are we doing today, Mr. Flanagan?
Rotation trades are very confusing. What the currency market is telling us is they've got the Fed message correctly. And that is the Fed cut. People are saying it's a hawkish cut, and they're totally missing the boat. Everybody is missing the $40 billion a month in, call it
buybacks,
reserve management or quantitative easing. And what does that do? It takes the legs out from the dollar. So we're trading the Dixie at 98.47. We hit the support level I talked about, 98 figure 20. I've actually gone long down here, but I'm now questioning my own position because, if we get below the low of 98.13, I think we're opening up a dump down to 97.5. And why is the dollar coming down? Because the dollar is looking at it saying, look, T-bills or short-term rates are going lower. On top of the Fed buying and the stable coin buying, pressure on U.S. rates is down. Then take a look at the world. You've got the inflation rate. Oh my, Turkey, the number one currency out there with interest rates, has cut rates 1.5% to 38%.
I was going to say, they were at like 40, weren't they?
That's correct. And
hey, Mr. Flanagan, can I go backwards 1 second? Because I just want to ask you a question about DXY, because you had pointed out, I can see it was back here on November 7th, that any break below that 97.75, 97.50 area invalidated your entire thesis. Is that still the case?
Yes,
I have the blue arrows that you gave me as our warning signs.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Okay, because I follow you very closely. As you know, I trust your insights immensely. So I did want to get that out because I haven't had a chance as I've been traveling to talk to you at all in the last couple of weeks. And that I was worried because we are getting close to that area, huh?
Yes, we are. And that's why, I'm long dollars right now, my own self. But I am quite concerned. I'm very confused about the overall marketplace. I think you guys have both highlighted that this morning, but it's a rotational trade because actually the market is moving correctly. They're moving out of tech, which, is frothy. We all agree.
Yep.
But they're moving into your staple products, your blue chip type names. Why? Because interest rates are going down. It's not a hawkish cut. It is a cut, but they are indicating they're going to keep short-term rates lower. So there's a number of factors that come into play. If that's the case, then you want to be in the heartland of American production companies. Don't forget the trade deficit, the lowest in 5 years, which means exports were up 3%, which is another reason you want to be in.
Well, but that one was attributed a lot from what I understand. And again, I was traveling, so I haven't been as deep in the weeds as I normally is to gold.
Front running.
What I understand, the gold went back. The gold that was bought in fear of tariffs went back to Europe, and then Peter Thomas echoed that statement. So I do think be careful there.
Okay, let's be careful. But
I'm just saying. I haven't had much time, and I just, me, I like to point out both sides of the case.
Right, but it's a data point. And if you get another number that comes out, essentially what it is showing, though, is that this is the markets are reacting correctly, but there is a massive confusion. And why would there be confusion? Because when institutional traders begin to cover super large positions or begin to get in, they're going to do it under the fog that they want to create because they want everybody else to be going, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah. And then when things become clear, they're already in. That's the way this market works. I, too, am very confused. Mr. Goolsby, my favorite Fed guy, came out.
I was going to come up next on that. He didn't talk your game this morning.
You know what? I'm sorry. He's been drinking the Kool-Aid too much.
Oh, he's switching. I love it.
Hey,
Steve, I'm going to be honest. I love that you say that because too many times people get stuck on somebody or thesis and refuse to listen. You could hear, your change. That means a lot to me because you're listening to what he's saying. You're not just saying this guy's got it, this guy's got it, because he confused the heck out of me this morning.
Yeah, he says inflation has been above target for 4.5 years. Hello, wake up. Yeah. You've been the one sitting there watching it.
You're the one in charge of it. That's what I mean. He like
and Goolsby was in the Obama administration. He brought it on.
He went right down like you said. He took his Kool-Aid that I have here in my cup, and he chugged it last night.
Right. So let's look at the macro picture in a snapshot here. Swiss National Bank kept rates at 0%. Why is that so big? Why do I even bring up Switzerland? because they're one of the largest holders of U.S. equity markets. So, you know, what Switzerland does, we want to just keep an eyeball on them. UK.
But what about Japan, though?
Oh, so let's slow down. Let's go. So Swiss franc down about 7 points today at 0.79. Is there any levels we're looking for? Because I'm looking, it's at the bottom of my daily linear regression and at the lows we've seen basically for the year, right?
Swiss is the institutional carry trade.
Right.
Yep.
They go in and they borrow Swiss francs at 0% and then sell the Swiss franc, because the Swiss franc is a naturally appreciating currency because of their relationship to the Euro-Swiss exchange rate. Okay? I won't go into that whole detail, but there's typically always a buying of Swiss francs in that scenario. So you've got a carry trade, and what's the best carry trade in the potential world right now? Underneath of this fog, it's to be in the US dollar, which is why I'm confused quite a bit, because if the Fed is going to be buying treasuries for the next 4 to 5 months, I think they said till April before they make a change, then US rates going down means treasury bills, the price that you buy goes down. It's a great thing to own from those who like to play in the interest rate market. So if the dollar can hold stable, and I do believe it will, I don't think we'll see a break of 97.5. I do think it would be the line in the sand. If we did, I would be very concerned. I still am a buyer of the dollar. I am long right here, but I am questioning if we can see it edge even lower. But the dollar carry trade could quickly come into play here as people borrow Swiss francs and then move into the U.S. Treasury market on the expectation of Fed buying, stable coin buying to move U.S. rates in the shorter term, let's call 2 years and under, lower, always lower. There's a constant buyer. And when people see that sort of setup, they quickly jump right in and follow along. So the UK GDP was minus 0.1%. Oh my, here we go. Another major country out there in Europe that's going into the negative territory from zero. So, I mean, call it what you want. They've been in a recession. France, CPI minus 0.2%. And we had the Turkish cut. German CPI was minus 0.2%. So, the Fed has to get over it. There is no inflation. It is going lower. It's going lower everywhere in the world. What do we think? We're an isolated island? Because if the Fed says, yes, we are, well, that flies in the face of 30 years of your policies in orchestrating a global following. So I think this is, a period of time. The market is doing the right thing. They're moving into the manufacturing base, which is where we are going to see next year's money flowing, right? And all this money that has been, at least proposed to come to the U.S. And they're taking money out of tech and taking profits. So, unfortunately, for those that are sitting in tech, when this market moves, it doesn't just, it's computerized. So when somebody says sell AVGO, Broadcom, they don't just come in with, give them 5 shares. They come in with a algorithmic model that goes bang, 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 bang. And every time it comes up for air, they hit it over.
That's what we're talking about. Yep. And Tesla, it's happening Tesla today too, 457 again. That's what's happening here.
Steve, UNH, nice little run up 1.75 here. And Steve, one of your favorites I'm noticing just spiked Nike.
Yeah, I like Nike here.
I'm not so sure on the Tesla trade, Steve. And, truth, I am a Tesla long. So, but Tesla kind of stands outside of this, circle that
it's a trade for me today.
He's just a scalp. He's scalping it for the next 10 minutes. He's hoping to be out now.
I'm hoping to be out in about.
Yes, he said it at set 4:55 and he's already out.
I wish I had his skill set, because I day traded like that in the currency worlds for 40 something years. And let me tell you, the concentration you need to have when you trade in that style.
Well, I am being quiet.
That's why I know what he's doing. I know exactly what's up. I don't even have to be next to him. I could have told you that's why he wasn't saying much and why I was speaking a lot. And I was watching the chart here that I have up here, and I know exactly what level he's probably looking at here.
And
I won't tell us because people hunt out his spots, but I know exactly what our man usually thinks about here, and he is very close to announcing an exit.
And I'll give the viewers a little real life story. You'll be sitting in a trading room, and people are trading, $50, $200 million positions, right? And bang, 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 because you're a market maker. So you're sensing every single cent in the marketplace. And then suddenly somebody a couple of desks down, a computer underneath of their desk.
And I'm out. Kaboom. There we go, boys and girls.
There we go. What did I say? 455.
455.50. Yeah, there it was. So, yeah.
I knew exactly where you were at.
BigBeat. But and then suddenly somebody's computer two desks away starts to go beep, 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 beep. And all of a sudden, here's everybody on a razor's hair of trading, and like people start freaking out. Oh, what's that noise? I can't concentrate. And
when it's moving in their direction, they're all high-fiving, having fun. Did you watch the game last night? Yeah, exactly. And, and that's not just in those rooms. I'll even tell you, we were at Vegas, as Steve and I, at the Traders Experience, and it was the same thing. All of a sudden, you hear someone's thing, and everyone gets real quiet.
Because when you're trading, every single nuance that is in front of your purview is something. It means something. And so when something artificial like a noise comes in, it can totally throw your focus off from that moment to moment. Every price means something when you're trading in that direction and with that type
Steve, I will point out it just hit the 450 I told you to do as your exit.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, right?
I can.
So a couple things to be watching next week. We've got
absolutely. What are we watching for? What are we watching for next, Mr.
ECB on Thursday. ECB at 2%. They're going to hold rates. Bank of England on the 18th on Thursday. They're at 4%. Watch out for the Bank of England to come in big here, because they are way behind the curve. And, you could easily see a big move there. And then when we walk in on Friday, Bank of Japan during the evening will have made some sort of decision. They're at 0.5%. I'm expecting a 0.25% raise in Japan to 0.75. Still a low interest rate. But there's enough out there in the global marketplace that could really begin to percolate, especially next week is really the last major week where you're going to see institutional involvement, because the following week is Christmas week and the following week is New Year's week. And everybody usually doubles up and takes
all time. Right.
So
are we going to have a Santa Claus rally, Mr. Flanagan?
I believe so, Steve. I think you're bang on with that idea. I really do. Because I think when the smoke clears, everybody's going to realize, okay, I've been super heavy in tech. I really need to be a little bit more balanced now into the mainstream. I call it blue chip type.
Blue chips, yeah.
Right? And I think that's the only trade that's going. And once you see these stocks coming up, watch NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA has already hit like an incredible buying level. And I think you're going to start the tech market begin to creep up now, knowing that, oh, you mean this wasn't just everybody unloading tech? No, unloading tech, but moving it into another.
Right. And we see that because it's not capitulation across these names. They're trading, they're fading downward. That's okay. You know what I mean? It's fading downward. We're good with that.
Anybody sitting in tech knows, as Steve, you highlighted with Broadcom, over the last year or two, the percentage.
170%. You got to cool down. Cool down.
Yep. So,
hey, everybody, what are the final words you guys got for us today?
Well, I just say watch next week. You've got some interest rates. Big one, Bank of Japan. I expect Bank of England could be a surprise. I am thinking between now and Wednesday of next week, I do think that the dollar will begin to base. And if it does, I think that, it'll be a sideways stable move back up. And I think that that's a very good sign for risk taking.
Awesome. Big Beat, what are you looking for over the weekend?
Nothing.
To go see
I look forward to going.
Yeah.
I look forward to going home.
I'm with you, man. I'm happy to be home. I'm exhausted doing this show. I can tell you for Steve, for those of you who don't know how hard this man works, I mean, this show is 6 a.m. for where we are when we were in Vegas. And, Steve would be meeting me down in the ballroom by then to already do the show. And we were going till 9, 10 o'clock with our, traders and the events. It's been a long and furious week. He needs some rest. I haven't even seen him hit the tables once. I played my first hand at the airport on the way out. I won $50 on the slot machine. So I was happy.
I like that.
And I walked out a winner in Vegas. I took their money and ran. Everybody.
I cannot say the same, Howard. I'm down about
I avoided you and Mr. Bauer very much on Wednesday night. I could see the look in the eyes. Everybody was excited to go out and gamble. I went straight to bed. So everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back here. We're all back home, although Steve's traveling a lot next week. So I'll be leaning on Mr. Flanagan a lot to help me out. And we'll get you guys up to speed on what's going on. Have a great weekend. Quasar Markets Live.